Hi, I'm Jason Bryant from the Short-Time Wrestling Podcast and founder of the Mat Talk Podcast Network. Shows on the network are individually owned and operated, and those opinions presented and expressed may not reflect others, the sponsors, patrons, or the parent network. Find more shows about the greatest sport in the world at the Mat Talk Podcast Network at mattalkonline.com.
The mind of Pat Popolizio is a wondrous thing. And for you Pack Wrestling fans, you'll get to go inside the mind of the Skip each and every episode here on the Pack Mentality Pop-Ins podcast. Now, here's your host, NC State Director of Athletics Digital Communications, Brian Reinhardt.
Pack Wrestling fans, welcome to a brand new episode of Pack Mentality Pop-Ins podcast, episode number 90. I'm a little pumped up, Pat. We're going up to Pitt this weekend.
I know, it's your favorite place, not far from where you went to school.
Unfortunately, it's going to take us a little while to get up there. I joked with Hayden. I said the blue collar travel tour continues.
Yeah, we're back.
We're busing up to Pitt.
Yep. We've made that decision. Talking to Gwiz, he said we had to go back to what got us to where we're at. So that's what we're doing.
We did it once before.
Yeah, it actually has been great team bonding and especially on that sleeper bus. So.
It has. I joke it is great team bonding, but it also takes a heck of a lot of time.
You get I watch you sleep the whole entire trip.
It's going to be great because I heard rumors are we're stopping for lunch.
There'll be lunch meat in the refrigerator for you.
See, there you go. You're switching it up already. All right. Back. Hey, by the way, that's the head coach of the Wolfpack, Pat Popolizio.
Brian, always good to see you.
Great introduction there.
Yep.
Starting right off the bat, first Friday night duel happened in Reynolds Coliseum. Over 1,700 fans, sixth largest crowd. Great team win. What was the excitement like being back inside Reynolds?
It's good. Good energy. We were, I think, a couple duels on the road where we didn't have any fans. So coming back home and feeling that energy was much needed. And, no one takes that for granted because I think it's one of the best places in the country to compete at and definitely makes it a tough environment when we pack that in. And I expect the next two home duels are going to be pretty filled up. So people better get their tickets early as we start seeing the movement going on.
This is a heck of a way to end the year. 3 straight top 20 teams.
Yeah.
At Pitt this weekend.
Yep.
Home Carolina. Home Virginia Tech. Going to be seeing a lot of great matches.
Yeah. They're, and that's what you want. I mean, we've been working up to this and we needed it as far as toughening up our schedule. It's playing out to be one of the tougher times that we've had. So it's good. Our guys are ready. They have experience now and feet are underneath them and it's time to let things fly.
Hold on.
Caught you clicking around
I
here.
did because I was going to throw out a date out there,
yeah.
But then I forgot what the date
February
was.
18th.
Okay. Well, first of all, Pitt, Friday, February 11th,
Yep.
It's on ACC Network.
Yes.
So if people don't want to ride the bus with us, watch us on TV this Friday.
Be ready. We're going to have a big crowd up there in Pittsburgh with the kids that are on our team now, with the recruits that we have signed that we can actually name Arrington, Finn, and Troy Holman. We're going to have that whole crew coming in and, Hayden, Trent, and Ed Scott, I know will have their following. Fishback's not too far away. So they're all going to be in there. And we can talk about it compliance-wise because they're signed.
I like how you emphasis at that point.
Yep.
And former national champion Sylvester Turkey is going to come up.
Yeah.
There. He's from the Pittsburgh area.
He is. So excited to see him. Make sure we get a triple XL shirt to bring him.
Yeah, triple XL. Well,
Maybe 4.
That dude's pretty big. But it'll be a great time. Everybody just wants to go to Pittsburgh. But after that, Friday, February 18th, Sunday, February 20th, North Carolina, Virginia Tech, inside Reynolds, both also on the network. But you got to be in the building. I mean, it's unmatched. There are some very exciting times during that Virginia match that fans really got into it.
Yeah, and I think that's what's making this very unique right now. The fan base in Raleigh's growing. I think we have a lot of former wrestlers that are moved to the area, and then you throw in our Wolfpack fans that are very passionate, and it's growing. And Friday night's no better way to have a great atmosphere here and make it an exciting time. So let's get get on the ticket sales because I think right now they're moving pretty fast.
Buy those tickets. Go to gopack.com. Those fans, they weren't booing the ref during Tariq's match. They were just chanting other stuff.
No, I think they were booing.
Okay. Ooh.
They earned the right, and I think our officials know in the ACC, if you're coming into NC State, you better be on your A game, or they're going to boo you out of here. So
go try something a little unique today. Going to recap Virginia and talk about Pitt at the same time. But talking about Pitt, this roster is pretty loaded. 2 returning NCAA finalists,
yep.
3 guys in the top 10, 6 ranked overall, going up to their place. Fitzgerald Fieldhouse. I know you don't know the history. I used to love that place. Pitt basketball used to play there.
Yep.
You know the Send It In Jerome took place in Fitzgerald Fieldhouse.
That's good
where he broke
know.
the backboard.
Damn.
I'll let you know what side it was on when we get up
all
there.
Right.
I used to play soccer up there all the time. So
yeah.
I like Fitzgerald.
You know, I almost went to school at Pitt, right?
Nah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I signed an NLI there.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Wow. See, no, people don't know that.
You didn't know that.
Okay, well, what happened?
Then John Smith called me.
Okay.
And then the rest is history.
Wow. We could have hung out. I was there at the time. Been. I mean, you're a lot older than I am, but
yeah,
a couple months.
Yeah, right.
I actually want to go to Pitt too, but they didn't have my major. So anyway, back to Pitt Panthers. A very solid team here. This is a heck of a challenge. Their guys, veteran group, they brought in 2 transfers who are now ranked 2, but this is great competition this weekend. Yeah,
we're gonna be tested, and that's what we want. Our guys are ready. We obviously week by week been working on some things, and the competition keeps getting tougher. So we're ready for the challenge, and we need it. You know, we need to see where we're at and things we got to work on, and this is going to be a great test for us.
125. Camacho is actually getting a rematch with somebody he saw at the NCAA championship.
First round match.
But Camacho here, you know, he's 10-2 all time in ACC duels. His last 7 ACC duel wins have all been bonus points.
Yep.
I know you love to start it with 125, get those bonus points, but he's got Curry, transfer from American, is ranked this year. Their match at the NCAAs was very tough. I think Camacho went down 0-4.
He got taken down and turned right away.
But then 7 takedowns to end that bout. But Curry's really improved, gave Pitt a solid starter at 125. Yep. This is going to be a good matchup.
Definitely. And, you know, I think the kid, obviously, like you said, has improved a little bit, and so have we. So expect to go out there and take care of business, but it's one we got to be ready to roll, and it's nothing's going to be given to us. But it'd be nice to get some momentum going early down in that duel.
141 Matthews. Is there a wrestler that's hotter right now?
No, red hot, and that's what you want. You want to wrestle guys when they're at their best during the season. See where you're at, and if you can beat them when they're at their best, then you know you're in a good spot. And that's one of those matches we got to be ready to compete, because you know we've seen them obviously over the years, and we've had some wars with them. And I like, you know, for us, the better the competition, the more focused we get. So that's one I think we got to be zoned in and focused and show up and compete hard, and that'll be a good test for Ryan Jack. I was gonna say, talking Matthews, he's ranked number 8 at 141. Going to be facing Ryan Jack. I know you don't care about rankings, but we have to mention rankings. Okay, sometimes. 157. Ed Scott coming off his first loss of the season. How has he responded in practice this week? It's fine. I mean, you know, if we're going out there and putting it on the line, we accept, you know, taking a loss. It's not what we set up to do, but he went out, he competed really hard. He scored a lot of points. And when the match ended, it was not in our favor, and we could fix the things that we made mistakes on. And I think that's only going to make us better. And that's no better way to rebound than go up there and wrestle another, you know, solid kid and get a win. You know, that's the biggest thing right now, is get back on track, winning. And I just like, you know, the pace that we wrestle, the style that Ed wrestles. He's always going to be in matches. And of course, he makes mistakes right now, but those will come. The fine-tuning will come. I'd rather see guys go out, give up a couple takedowns, and score a lot of points than sit there and be a 2-1 match, boring match. And you're never going to get that out of Ed Scott. He's gonna throw the kitchen sink at you. So that's fine. You know, we're wrestling a tough schedule that's going to happen. Guys going to take a loss every now and then. It doesn't stop us from accomplishing our goals. I know Hayden said before how hard it is to keep a headlock for an amount of time. Yes. How hard is it to keep a cradle for as long as Ed had one? It is one of for people that have never wrestled before, the amount of energy that was used in that time, it showed. It zapped them a little bit. You think And that's experience, over wrestling that position a little bit. I think fatigued them pretty well, and that's one thing. Ed wasn't out there just trying to get the back points. He was trying to get the fall for the whole 2 minutes that he had. And I think forearms, leg, he was using every muscle he had in his body trying to get that pin. And I think someone that has a little more experience maybe would have backed off knowing they weren't going to get it, just held position and taken that win. But Ed was going for the fall, and I respect that. That's why it's nothing to worry about.
So at 157, Ed Scott, Cleary for Pitt, ranked number 19, came over from Ohio State, really solidified that position. 165, we talked about this battle before. They're going to battle again. NCAA finalist Wenzel against Bullard. Cool stat on Bullard. Since the Southern Scuffle, 5-0, outscored his opponents 48-1. Is there such thing as a defensive battle in wrestling?
Yeah, it'll be Friday night, 165.
I was gonna say it might not be the 11-10 scoreline Ed had last time. Bullard and Wenzel. Man, try to say that 5 times. Fourth matchup. I think the combined score is something like 11-5.
Yeah.
So both of these guys, they might be choosing top every period.
Yep.
Who knows? But
similar styles, both guys.
Tough matchup here because both guys just are incredible on top.
Yeah, and I think that's critical. Who can get off bottom and obviously get a takedown. Both guys wrestle a lot alike, but I like where we're at. And that's the whole point. But we'll talk about today in the room, the 6th year, why he came back, and what wrestling means to him. And you're starting to see him. I think he's in a good spot physically and mentally, and all we got to do is poke him in the eye in the first 30 seconds of the match, and we get some good wrestling out of Bullard.
I don't think I've ever seen him more mad than he was down at camp when he got poked in the eye.
I'm going to poke him in the eye before he goes out there. But I like where we're at. And Bullard's always been one of those guys, more matches he gets under his belt, the more in rhythm he becomes. And you're going to get hard wrestling and a guy that's going to go out there and compete really hard for 7 minutes. So that's one we got to circle and zone in and put ourselves in the driver's seat for, some seeding at the end of the year. And I think this is one of those matches where these two guys probably have the most experience in conference. So it was good. He wrestled great last Friday. I thought he wrestled a really smart match, his style, and was able to beat a kid that's been pretty competitive.
Beat the previously undefeated McCoy, and Bullard and Wetzel, I think fans think they're both in their 9th year. So let's keep it going.
Yep.
Hidley Brothers, you said big crowd. Trent likes the hoagies. I've been pushing Permane Brothers post-game meal. Yes or no?
No.
Okay, yeah. I know. Ian denied me as well.
Yeah. Come on
That's
now.
great. Thanks.
Yep. There's
right.
better food up there than that.
Oh, ooh, shots fired. All right. Permane Brothers, you want to sponsor the podcast? I'll kick Pat off.
You tell me you're going to eat a sandwich with that French fries on there?
Oh, it is fabulous. Have you ever had it?
Yes, I actually have.
Okay. And you liked it,
was
right?
good.
I know you're joking.
I'm joking around. It is good.
I
do think there's some other spots we got to try out. The problem is we've gone there too many times.
Because I've requested to go there every time.
Yeah, okay. I know where you sneak away.
197, Isaac Trumbull, first of all, after the match, and I feel bad because I'm not sure of the terminology, commissioned in the Army. I thought but some fans were telling me it wasn't commissioned. Either way, he took the oath to the Army. He talked about very special. How proud are you? This is the second time you've had a wrestler do that. Nikki Hall was a previous one. But how cool of a moment was that off the wrestling
match? It's, first of all, NC State's got a good history with the military, with the ROTC. A lot of our alumni support comes from the military. Oak Grove Technology has been a big supporter for us with our RTC. So there's a lot of military connections. And, personally, I have a lot of respect for anybody that's served time in the military. So this comes down a lot in the beginning in the recruiting process. Kids that are thinking about possibly going into the military, it's a great option. Come here, wrestle, be a part of that as well, and still get a kind of a normal college setting, as opposed to maybe, a situation that might be different going into one of the academies, which still is a great option. So it's just a little unique setting, and it's good. I think it's good following for Isaac too, and I think he's going to be set up very well down the road with a good career path. I was
going to say ROTC and being a wrestler, man, that guy's schedule. Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
Well, and that's when you look at what's going on here at NC State. We got guys that are very disciplined, and they're up early. It's the days start pretty early, 5:36 in the morning, and they don't end until 8, 9 at night. And if we're on match night, as you can see, 10 o'clock. So yeah, but these guys are built for that kind of grind, and they have the mental toughness to deal with it. And on top of that, getting really good grades and producing on the mat as well.
Since we're busing back from Pitt that night, we'll probably get back 6 a.m.
So
Isaac might just go run.
People need to know we will drive through the night, and we're probably going to get here, depending on time that we do get back. We're probably going to roll right into our individual workouts and lift at 6 or 7 in the morning. Got to double check with compliance because I know there's NCAA rules on when you can and can't work out with recovery. But our plan is to get back here and go right into our workout if we're allowed to do it.
I'll bring some shorts.
Yeah, you'll be checked out.
That sounds like fun.
I'll have that stepper ready to go for you.
By the way, Trouble, great match against Ayala. That was going back and forth, went to overtime. Now he gets Bonacorsi, NCAA finalist. He obviously had his coming out party against Bonacorsi last year. Bonacorsi circled this one. Interesting matchup here. Again, maybe 2 different styles. But looking forward to seeing this one for the second straight year.
See what kind of adjustments both guys have made. You're going to get a tough match out of Bonacorsi, as he always wrestles really hard. And that's a non-factor for us because we do the same. So it's 2 guys that put it on the line for 7 minutes. And, we got to stick to our game plan and do the things that he's great at, which was showed a lot of that on Friday night, made a couple mistakes on top. So we've made those adjustments and obviously know we got to continue to get better getting out of legs. And that's what we're doing. Every week we'll keep fine-tuning things.
Moving up to heavyweight, teaser. He might be the guest today, so I'm going to get you to talk about him.
Nice.
Tyrie Houghton, North Carolina guy. You're only North Carolina guy in the lineup. He was talking about the pride that he has representing the state right now. And you've seen a lot of changes from him, going from 97 to heavyweight to now starting the first 2 ACC duels. Mechanical engineering major. You talk about another guy that just has it going on off the mat. Just talk about Tyrie and his improvement over the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, I mean, that's anytime you get a kid that comes in and does all the things you ask him to do, they're going to be lined up for success. And I think that's something you see with Tyrie. Came in here, was pretty solid coming out of high school, and little by little has just fought his way into our lineup. I think the year that Renan got injured, filled in and had a chance to wrestle there. And that gave him some very valuable experience. But more than anything, he just continued to work, grind things out, and made that move to heavyweight, which I think has been a really good move for him. And then obviously for our team, it's added a lot of strength and depth and put guys on notice. And his style of wrestling is tough for a heavyweight. He's constantly in your face. He can get off bottom. He can ride on top, and he wears some of those guys down. So he's a big factor in the success that we're having this year, and very impressed with what he's been able to do on and off the mat for us here at NC State.
I asked him about that power half at Iowa that got stopped, but then he talked about Bullard's power half is probably worse than his. He said,
"Yeah, there's still you got to bring up some bad moments there, huh?"
Nah. It wasn't a bad moment. I wanted to ask him about it.
He shouldn't have stopped it. The kid was going to go over, I think, if we would have let that keep happening. Who knows?
All right. Well, let's end it on a good note. Yeah. Pat, looking forward to spend, 15, 16 hours in the bus together up to Pitt?
Yeah, and let's bring a good attitude this weekend. I think Florida trip, now you know what to expect. So we'll have plenty of food in the refrigerator for you, stocked up.
We will give our fans a report on the food.
Okay.
We got many hours to kill, so we'll see. But
let's talk about your giveaways that you're not giving away.
Wolfpack Nation cannot correctly guess a duel here. We've tried to give away t-shirt, try to give away the bobblehead. Just Wolfpack fans, I don't know what is going on. I'm not above the rules.
Do we need to just do a raffle?
I just want to give away something this year.
All right.
Unable to give away any free stuff. Wolfpack fans, just guess a duel score right. But I will say,
who would have thought, the scores would have been the way they were?
I was going to say,
not
both duels losing a team point. I mean, you really don't see that too often. And I don't know if I told you this.
I tell you again, it goes back to the magic in that arena, the intensity.
It really gets in other coaches and sometimes athletes' heads. But
yeah,
I don't know if So Gwiz texted me. I tagged him in the all the promotion for it.
Keep doing that.
So he got to see every single tweet.
We need to keep tweeting that, Gwiz. His life's too simple.
I'm not sure if he was happy about seeing
it. It's all right.
But Pat, we're going to give away something. We promise. looking forward to the Pitt duel. Again, Friday night, ACC Network. So many great bouts. This duel is just going to be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, that'll be a very good test for us. And we got to bring, next 3 duels, we got to be in our A game. Guys know that, and we look forward to that challenge.
Stay tuned for our featured interview with Tyrie Houghton. Hey, Wolfpack Wrestling fans. Before we get to that featured interview, let us get you up to date on how to follow us on social media. Give us a follow on Twitter and get all of the latest NC State wrestling news. We had the most followers in the ACC and have ranked in the top 10 nationally in interactions each of the last 5 seasons. On Twitter, find us at Pack Wrestle. Be sure to head over to our YouTube page for a great behind-the-scenes look at the program, in addition to highlights from all of our matches if you're unable to watch them live. We would love to get over 1,000 subscribers so we can monetize our channel and need your help by hitting that subscribe button to get us closer to our goal. On YouTube, we are also at Pack Wrestle. Our Instagram stories are unmatched on match days from Reynolds Coliseum, as we take you all over the arena for a look in on the great Wolfpack Wrestling action. On Instagram, follow us at Wolfpack Wrestling. And it goes without saying, the top podcast that covers NC State wrestling is this very podcast, the Pack Mentality Pop-Ins podcast. Make sure you're subscribing so each and every new episode will automatically download for you. We are available on all of your favorite podcasting platforms. Thank you for listening to the Pack Mentality Pop-Ins podcast and for your continued support of NC State Wolfpack Wrestling. Joining us now in the Pack Mentality Pop-Ins podcast, heavyweight Tyrie Houghton. Tyrie, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, good to be here.
Got you after practice, sporting a black eye. What happened?
That's a little present from UVA last Friday. That eye poke was something serious.
I was going to say, I went back and watched, and they said not only you got poked in the eye, it took you a little while to kind of recover, and you were still kind of blinking, but purely accidental, right?
Yeah. No, the guy he felt bad about it, but I couldn't see too well out of it at first. But Pat was yelling at me, "Get back in there, stay on him." So I kind of stumbled back to the center, kept wrestling.
I like how you say stumbled.
I wasn't seeing too well.
First time on the podcast, fans want to know you a little more about you. Wennington, North Carolina. Where's Wennington?
So it's like South Charlotte area. It's I actually live like probably 5 minutes from the Charlotte border, but it's like a small town in the next county over.
Wennington known for anything?
Big sports town, high school for sure. We I think something funny is we have like this end of year sports banquet, and it was funny because I sat down next to I had a state championship in wrestling and football, and then I sat down next to a couple kids that had like 4 state championship rings, and it was funny because there was just so many teams and individuals winning state titles in like every sport. So it was something pretty cool.
I was going to say, great segue. You just mentioned it. Football, you win the team title. Wrestling won an individual title. We've had many guys on here talk about their individual titles. How was winning a team title for football at a school like Wennington?
It was really cool because that was the first football title that the school had ever had. They had been to the state championship before, but never won it. And it was something really cool. Like it was a kind of family situation, like everybody it was this pretty small team. Everybody was pretty close knit, and it was cool.
What positions did you play?
I was a D lineman for the most part. I was a pretty small D lineman, I'll say, because I kept my weight down for wrestling. So I was like 180.
Any interest from colleges in wrestling, in football at all?
I did get one email.
One email. Okay.
Yeah. But I never really pursued football that serious. I actually only started playing in high school.
Okay.
So, yeah.
How was it? We've talked to guys from PA, Ohio, the big wrestling schools. How was it to kind of go through North Carolina wrestling and try to continue wrestling in college and figure out where you wanted to go for yourself?
It was hard, to be honest. Wrestling is just not a big thing around here. I mean, I didn't start until middle school, and then, to be honest, I only knew maybe a total of 10 moves by the time that I got into high school. So I hadn't really learned much while I was there. I mean, great coaches that I had, but they were guys that maybe wrestled JV in high school, dad's helping out. That was pretty much the situation. And, you know, there's a huge world of wrestling that I really had no clue about until maybe my sophomore, junior year of high school, really. And so it was hard to get noticed, you know. I mean, you can go to as many practices a week as you possibly can, but it's hard to get noticed unless you're sending emails, putting yourself out there. How I found NC State was actually the first time that I watched the national championships for college. I saw Nick Gwiz win his second title, and I was like, huh, that's in North Carolina. That's pretty cool. I think I'd like to go there. That'd be pretty cool. And then here I am.
But you mentioned senior year of high school, you're at 195. Was that correct?
Yeah.
So you went undefeated, won the state title with a pin. Was there any better way to end a high school career?
I guess not really. Not I mean, it was cool. It was a little underwhelming when it actually happened, you know, because junior year was a big fight. I ended up losing in the state finals, but then by the time that my senior year came around, it was just no close matches pretty much the whole year, to be honest.
Academics we're going to get into. Okay, I had to ask you, 4.95 GPA in high school. How's that possible?
Well, I took a lot of AP classes, so get a little extra credit.
NC State, so what drew you here? Was it wrestling or academics? What kind of came first?
Wrestling was my main factor, I would say. But that being said, NC State isn't a bad option for engineering by any means. So it was a pretty perfect fit, honestly.
You don't hear of many North Carolina guys probably in the ACC, and you're the only starter from North Carolina. So is it a little more pride for you since you're an in-state guy?
For sure. Like it's great to be able to show other North Carolina high school kids that they can do this too, you know, like just kind of represent.
Started at 197. You're now at heavyweight. Was there a reason why you wanted to go up?
Yeah. So last year I tried to make it back down to 197, and to be honest, I was too big to make it. I was cutting a lot of weight, and I just figured if I can't be a good 197, if I can't be healthy, then I might as well go up, and I feel a lot better. So
how do you balance adding good weight?
It's hard. It's a lot of lifting, a lot of training to match the eating, the diet part of it. To be honest, this past summer, I actually didn't put on a lot of weight. This is kind of a natural weight for me, because I was out for most of the summer. I had some knee issues going on for a while. So this summer, I'm hoping to actually have that real good period of bulking up, putting on good weight, be a full-size heavyweight.
I was going to say, what weight do you kind of weigh in now for matches?
I'm about 240 pretty consistently.
And what would your goal be?
I'd like to get up to like 255, 260, kind of reach if I can, but it's just going to be hard summer training.
So if you're in the 240s, you're wrestling 197. Was it tough to adapt to a new weight and learn how to use the new weight you had?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a very different style than wrestling lower weights for sure. But I did have a lot of experience training with the heavyweights in the room, so there was that. But yeah, it's a lot slower paced, a lot more strength based wrestling, to be honest. So
Had to ask you, we're going to jump into this season. You got the start against Iowa on top. The ref blew it dead. Potentially dangerous. I know you can't talk bad about officiating or calls, but kind of walk us through what you were trying to do and why you thought that move got stopped.
That's hard to talk about. that really sucked. But I mean, his arm, I guess his shoulder was getting into a pretty painful position, I guess. But it sucked because if you go back and watch the video, you can see I'm cranking it for a while. And then the second that he starts moving forward, like he's about to turn, that's when the ref blew it dead. So that was hurtful.
We've seen Bullard do the power half too. How painful are those?
They can be pretty nasty. His sucks a lot, actually. I wrestled with him every now and then my freshman year, and if you let him get it in, his are.
Especially when he's mad at you. It seems when he's a little pissed off, he really gets it going.
Yeah, he was sitting a little bit of that the past few matches.
A lot of questions about heavyweight here at NC State. 3 great options, yourself, Owen, Deontay, all in the room, all very competitive. How does that fuel each other where you guys are all fighting against each other for some, just be out there on the mat for NC State?
It's like it's a good problem to have, I guess you could say. I mean, you're getting some of the best matches in wrestling that you'll have for most of the season in the room. And we're all real competitive with each other. And it also gives you a little bit something extra to have pride about, like when you are out on the mat, because you're representing you're representing your team, but you're also representing 2 really, really good guys that would like to be out there too. So, you don't want to let them down. So
you have about 20 matches this year, off to a 2-0 start in ACC competition. What do you have to do to keep being the guy for NC State? Like what do you have to improve upon, you think?
I think I just have to win more matches, score more points. I mean, I feel like the beginning of the season was good. I was chasing the spot for a while, and then once the second semester started, I've been in definitely a little bit of a funk since after Scuffle. I've been sick a couple times, so not feeling my best. But we're also not really peaking in our training yet, so not everybody's looking their best. I mean, when you look at the dual matches, everybody's wrestling great, but they're also not wrestling their best yet. So just keep focusing on being able to peak coming up the next few weeks.
I think that's a great point. A lot of fans don't realize you guys have these duels every week, but there's different training periods you guys are in, some heavy, some hard. Obviously, the goal is to get ready for the postseason, but you're in a different training cycle right now.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a little bit harder for, like you said, some guys to peak and all that. What are you doing in practice right now to improve?
To be honest, me and the coaches have been focusing a lot on pushing conditioning, to be honest, because probably one of the biggest assets that I have over a lot of other heavyweights is my endurance, my gas tank. And Timmy and Pat, they've been on me really hard to keep pushing that. A lot of bike sprints, a lot of endurance conditioning training.
I was going to say, I do think that's something that makes you stand out. We've seen in the third period of your matches, your conditioning. Is that something from being a 197 and a football player that has helped you, or how'd you get good at conditioning? Because, yeah, like you said, a lot of heavyweights, they kind of gas out in the third a little bit.
I mean, I think part of it is I'm still a pretty athletic build for a heavyweight, and I've got some experience at lower weights, but I think part of it's just I've always had a lot of endurance. I mean, I ran cross country for a little bit in middle school, and I ran track once in high school, and my parents both do a lot of triathlons.
Wow.
So, and Ironmans. My mom's actually a more time All-American in Ironmans than I was in high school. So
she remind you of that?
Yeah. It comes up every now and then.
Would you do one after college?
No,
No?
not.
Okay, so
not
the three
thinking
phases.
about it.
What of the three phases, biking, running, swimming, what would be the weakest?
For me?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's hard. Probably, well, nowadays, probably running.
Okay.
I don't do a lot of running anymore. Just knee health, body health. Running hurts.
Okay.
But swimming would probably be the hardest just because there's a lot more technique involved in it.
And swimming, it's only like 2 miles, but that 2 miles is pretty long.
Yeah.
That's a lot of swimming.
I did a couple of triathlons and a couple of races when I was younger.
Okay.
And I actually did just an 800-meter swim race one time. And it's a lot longer than than you think. Like, it may not be that long time-wise, but it feels long when you're doing it.
You like the rehab pools better than the real pools now?
Yeah, for sure. Hot tub before practice.
All right, we got to talk about education because very impressive. Mechanical engineering major. Kind of explain what the heck is mechanical engineering?
It's a really broad field. I mean, pretty much any kind of technology or device or anything that is like an object or a vehicle that you would use in your daily life was designed by probably a mechanical engineer and a team of engineers. So it's a lot of math based, but there's also a lot of creativity to it. Like, you have a problem, how are you going to solve the problem?
Student athletes, your time, it's taken a lot. There's a lot of athletics, but academics for you. How is kind of handling being a wrestler and being in a program like that for you?
It's hard. It's a lot of time commitment when you get home because you're trying to balance early morning workouts, afternoon workouts, getting enough sleep, but also having enough time in the day to get all your work done, get all your homework done. So it's you don't have a lot of time for anything else, to be honest.
You told me before you came in with some credits, but you are graduating within 4 years. So you're graduating this May?
Yeah. Yep.
Did you do an internship or anything?
No, I didn't.
No,
I got a lot of friends that do co-ops and internships during their time, but I didn't really have a chance with wrestling because it takes up so much time, even during the summer.
Where do you see this degree going? Are you going to continue school and then go out in the work world, or where do you see yourself?
I'm not too sure yet. I mean, next year I'm working on applying for grad school right now to wrestle another year. But as far as engineering goes, I mean, I love it, but part of me also wants to try pursuing wrestling for a little bit as long as I can, because freestyle is something that I have a lot of fun with, and it's something that I'd like to pursue.
Freestyle more than Greco?
Yeah, probably. I mean, Greco's fun to play around with in practice until you face somebody that really knows what they're doing in Greco.
I was going to say, when was the last time you were thrown?
Oh, that's hard. Probably last time that me and Isaac wrestled a Greco match in practice, I would say, like last spring. We went back and forth. I got him in freestyle and he got me in Greco.
Okay. So you are coming back next year because you have a year of eligibility left, plus you have a redshirt year.
Yeah.
You never redshirted. That's kind of very rare nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, it was something that I did want to do earlier in my career, but Pat, he talked to me about it when I was a freshman, and as a sophomore too. The team needed me as either a fill-in or a backup in case somebody didn't make it through the season. I mean, Malik had a lot of shoulder issues my freshman year, and Nick had some knee issues, so I was kind of covering two weight classes there.
Well, I was going to say, that sophomore season, you were the starter for us at the ACC championships.
Yeah.
So you have some experience as a younger guy. You looking forward to getting back to that level this year?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like it's been kind kind of a lot of time away from real competition. Because, I mean, the last time that a lot of people saw me, and even really the coaches saw me consistently competing, was that sophomore year at ACCs. Then COVID happens. We're all away from the team for a while. We come back. I have a lot of trouble trying to make weight last season, so I didn't really compete too much because I never actually made 197, but I was way too small for heavyweight. So this year's been good to be competing consistently.
Obviously, we're going up to Pitt this weekend, but the end of the season, Carolina and Virginia Tech both in Reynolds. You got the start. You got the win against UVA. Big crowd. How excited are you to kind of finish up and these last two home duels at home? You got to love competing inside Reynolds.
Yeah, for sure. It's a great atmosphere. It was really cool to have that many people show up for our UVA match on Friday, and it's going to be something to look forward to, seeing the crowds for UNC and Virginia Tech in the same weekend. It's going to be a packed stadium for sure. And a lot of guys were upset when the Virginia Tech match was canceled in the first place, because that was going to be a really cool week. But now that it's back on in the same week as UNC, it's going to be a really big weekend.
Huge weekend for NC State. Huge opportunity for yourself. Coming down to the final duels, ACC championships. You're in a good position for NCAAs. Tyrie, thanks for joining us. Thanks for sharing your story. Good luck with that mechanical engineering degree.
Thanks.
I want to thank everybody for listening today. This is your Pack Mentality Pop-Ins podcast covering all things NC State wrestling. Until next time, Wolfpack Wrestling fans, go Pack.
Mentality Pop-Ins podcast is produced by the Mat Talk Podcast Network. For more wrestling podcasts, go to mattalkonline.com.